And we're on air. Stay Blessed Podcast with your host, Dare to Do Motivation. I'm very excited today because I'm introducing my first guest ever. Till now it's only been me. And today I've got my first discussion partner. And I'm very excited to announce my first guest. A dear friend of mine, Austrian-based Nigerian entrepreneur, Ambassador C.T.O. Welcome, man.
Thanks, man. Thanks for having me. Thanks for this honor of being your first guest. I'm excited to be here today and nice to look forward to having a nice conversation with you. Greetings to all your people.
Yeah, me too. Thanks. I've got a lot of followers on Dare to Do Motivation, my other motivational YouTube channel. But the Stay Blessed podcast is still pretty fresh. I've got about 1,800 subscribers as of now. But I think we're steadily growing, and I know a lot of people wanted to have a podcast from me, and actually, it's also a thing that I wanted to do with podcasts because having conversations with interesting people that opens up a totally new chapter for discussion and for interesting things regarding, especially but not only spirituality, motivation, what gets us to get up in the morning, what our beliefs are, and so on. And so you're my first guest, and I'm sure that it's not the last time that you're on here. So I'm pretty sure that in a couple of months or weeks we'll have another discussion, another show with you. And welcome, man. So Ambassador C.T.O, it's your brand that you created.
Yes, I just newly created an Instagram account. You can follow me up on Ambassador C.T.O. I just created it some few days ago. My channel, my Instagram account is all about business, corporate news, opportunities, traveling, lifestyle, African community in the German-speaking nations of Germany, Austria, and Switzerland, and as well German-speaking interests in Nigeria. So I'm trying to be a bridge builder between both parts of the world, and that's what I do. For the fact that I'm bilingual, I'm of Nigerian origin in the Niger Delta, but grew up in Austria. So
I just pulled up your Instagram page, ambassador.c.t.o, and for everyone who's interested, I'll put the link in the description down below. So I'll read from your Instagram page. It says, Ambassador C.T.O creating awareness between German-speaking countries, Germany, Switzerland, Austria, and Nigeria. Corporate topics, traveling, opportunities. So I guess you want to connect those two. You want to connect the German-speaking Nigerian diaspora with business opportunities in their homeland. Is that does that hit the nail on the head?
Yeah, that's definitely how you could say it. I want to connect the two parts of this world. Like, I want to connect the Nigerian diaspora in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. As well, do I want to connect the Germans, Swiss, and Austrians that are interested in doing business in Nigeria or want to travel to Nigeria or want to have an experience in Nigeria.
Excuse me. Just speak a little bit slower, just so our viewers can listen more closely. And for all of our viewers, these podcasts are not perfect. You will hear noises, you will hear interruptions, but we just keep it real. We just noises occur. You will hear mispronunciations. You will hear cell phones ringing, but that's part of the show, and I think it makes it more appealing to our audience. So sorry, please continue.
Sorry, I forgot we're on a podcast. It's like actually having a normal conversation between two friends, but of course I have to take into consideration that we have people listening in, and so as I said, I'm all about building the bridge between the German-speaking countries and Nigeria, so especially the Nigerian diaspora in Germany, Switzerland, and Austria, and Germans in Nigeria, Austrians in Nigeria, Swiss in Nigeria, people in Central Europe that are interested in doing business in Nigeria. or want to travel to Nigeria to have an experience, or people in Nigeria that want to study abroad in Germany, Switzerland, Austria.
So, are there? How big is the number of Nigerians living in the German-speaking countries or coming over to study? Do you have a number for us, an estimate?
I won't be very sure, but it's definitely more than 10,000.
Altogether, in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland together, 10,000, or just Germany?
I think just Germany, but you have to take into consideration that there are many Nigerians that are second generation. So you still have a diaspora that may not fall into Nigerian citizenship, but of Nigerian origin.
So they're somewhere in between. They're not cut off from their mother country, but they're not fully accustomed yet to their country where they were born. Are they culturally somewhere in the middle, or embracing both?
Well, I would say they're somehow in the middle. Some are trying to embrace both. That's what I would say, and yeah, that's actually a situation I would describe as being between both worlds, but due to the fact that most of them have German citizenship, or they won't naturally come up in the statistics of Nigerian citizens. So they're naturally German citizens, and they won't fall into that number. So if we're talking about purely Nigerian citizens, but that's a different number. But people with Nigerian origin are definitely going to be far more than that.
So we've known each other for a long time. We've been good friends for a long time here in Austria, and so you are a second generation Nigerian, or would you consider yourself first generation Nigerian in Austria?
Actually, well, the fact that I came here with my parents, and my parents studied here, so. But
you were born in Nigeria?
Yeah, I was 2 years old when I came to Austria.
So I don't know, that if you came with your parents, does that make you first generation because you came here, or does it make you automatically second generation diaspora because your parents were here also? I don't really know. Do you know?
Actually, that's a very interesting question. I've never thought about it that way. But I would say that due to the fact that I was in kindergarten and everything here, you could say I am somehow second generation, because I had parents who were young people here. But if you would say born, or I would be first generation, because I was not born here, but I was raised here at the age of 2. So it's a good question, actually.
What's your earliest memory? Is your earliest memory in Austria, or is your earliest memory in Nigeria?
Oh, no. Do you remember what you did at the age of 2?
Nah, I don't. But so by the age of 2, you came here.
Yes.
So I think then your earliest memory, at least not subconsciously, would be in Austria.
Definitely in Austria.
Definitely.
That's my earliest memory. So in that aspect, you could say I am second generation, because my parents were already here, so they already had to deal with stuff here, and they already had some foundation they gave to me to grow up here. So in that aspect, you could actually philosophically and practically say I'm second generation, because I had a generation before me who were in this country, and I grew up under their care. So that's what you could say, actually.
Yeah, I would say so too. I would rather put you in the bracket of second generation, actually.
Yes.
But for all of you listening, Austria is like a major hub for people coming from all around the world. And so I know I've got a lot of listeners from India, Pakistan, the Philippines, and we have lots of people from those countries as well who are currently second generation or third generation immigrants. So I guess this subject of immigration makes it also interesting for you, like where you see yourself. What do you define yourself? So how was it for you growing up in Austria? What were your? Did you see yourself? Did you feel different, or did you feel, nah, I'm like everyone in Austria? Yeah.
Definitely, I always knew that I'm different due to the fact that I was always the only black kid in kindergarten, primary school, secondary school, and mostly also in university. But I would definitely say that, I'm an African. That's what I would definitely say.
Yeah. So how did you come up with this ambassador C.T.O?
Ambassador C.T.O, the issue is we have a lot of Nigerians in these three countries, and many of them, some of them are disconnected and don't really know what is happening back home. And I travel a lot due to my profession. I'm an industrial consultant. I support international companies that try to, especially German-speaking companies that try to set up shop in Nigeria, and support them with my knowledge, with my experience, with the fact that I'm bilingual, and I am a German native speaker and and an English native speaker simultaneously. So I am just in a good position to build bridges. I understand how the average Austrian and German thinks, and Swiss, and I also understand how the average Nigerian thinks. So when you have insights in both worlds, cultures, and ways of value systems, you know how to find common ground. You can explain to Austrians how things are done in Nigeria. You can explain to Nigerians how things are done in Austria, for example. So trying to find the middle, but trying to find kind of middle ground and build a bridge so that people can profit from each other, and to also get into economics. Nigeria is a mainly oil-producing nation and country, and it mainly imports finished goods from Germany, Switzerland, Austria. So there are also Nigerians that would like to export goods to Germany, Austria, and also try to support them in finding out how things are done and stuff like that.
So who do you think will benefit more from this business that you're trying to create? More the people based in German-speaking countries, or maybe even Austrian, German, Swiss companies that could have business deals done in Nigeria, or the Nigerians themselves in Nigeria? I mean, or is it equally beneficial to everyone involved?
Everyone is going to benefit, because I'm going to make sure that everyone is equally informed and has the opportunity to get information, the right sources, and advice from me. If a German-speaking company says they want to come and enter the Nigerian juice market, for example, I'm going to tell them, these are potential local partners in Nigeria who might be able to help you. They have networks on ground. They have experience in industry. They have a market share.
The business market in Nigeria, I mean, for me, from an European outside who's never been to Nigeria, I would imagine that there are very few very rich people and a lot of very poor people, and that if you would want to make business opportunities happen with people from other countries, that it would go through these very few very rich people. Is that correct?
Well, I just found the stats that there are 83,000 Nigerian citizens currently living in Germany. That's to your question before. 83,000.
So let's say maybe 100,000 in Austria, Germany, and Switzerland together. Maybe a bit more. Maybe 110,000.
I would say with Nigerian background, I would say it would be more than 200,000 in the three countries.
Yeah, with background, yeah.
So yes, actually the very rich mostly are more into oil, crude oil, gas, natural resources.
And is that a business part where you also want to dip into, or is that already kind of like sucked out? And are there other business fields where you would like to venture? Is the Nigerian oil market, is that already kind of fully loaded? I mean, have all the stones been turned around in that business?
Well, actually, to be very honest, I am not really. I'm more into industry, but the Nigeria. I have gotten a contract once to clean oil tankers, for example, to organize a company in the German-speaking part of Europe that can help in offshore tank cleaning. I have gotten such assignments, but oil and gas is not really something I am very, very into. I am more into industrial production of finished goods, and I think I'll try to think out the box and make sure that it's a more diverse approach. Nigeria is very heavily dependent on crude oil exploitation.
So someone contacted you he wanted you to help him clean an oil tanker.
Yeah, there was a Nigerian company that asked me to get an European company that can clean offshore tankers with modern technology. There are robots that can do that.
That sounds like a huge technical, logistical operation. Cleaning oil tankers. It sounds like a massive thing.
There's several million euro involved, of course. It's a massive thing to clean 18 oil tankers that are offshore.
18 oil tankers.
Yeah, yes.
That's a multi-million dollar deal, I would say.
Yes.
And what happened with that? What were you able to sort them out, or?
Yes, funny enough, that's also how I got this idea. I was looking for Germans, Austrians, Swiss that can do this due to the fact that I'm a German, I speak German. Not that I'm a German, but I'm a German native speaker. And of course, I'm going to search within these nations always. And I made a post on WhatsApp. And actually, a Nigerian hit me up after seeing the post and said that he's actually into this. And he has equipment worth millions and he has experience with offshore cleaning, and that's how I connected. So I got the idea that, okay, there are a lot of people that have issues and need a solution. There are lots of people that can provide the solution. So it's for me to bring them together, and that's how I came up with the idea to start the ambassador C.T.O. Page on Instagram. So that is how it actually started.
So if anyone's listening, particularly from Nigeria or neighboring African countries, maybe, well, what would you like them to know? What would your message be to them concerning Ambassador C.T.O?
Yeah, look at my Instagram. I just started a few days ago. I'm going to constantly upload content on opportunities. It's all about corporate news, trade news, bilateral trade news, traveling to German-speaking cities, visiting the African communities there, and checking out lifestyle and other things. So anyone that has questions to how can I do business in these three countries or anything related can hit me up and PM me on my Instagram page, Ambassador C.T.O. And the link will be.
I will give the link down below. So it's ambassador.c.t.o, and so anyone who's got questions, they can send you a message over Instagram. Okay, great. So Ambassador C.T.O, that's your business. You're trying to You're trying to grow. You're trying to develop. But as Ambassador C.T.O, what is your... I mean, I know you as you're an early riser. You're a motivated person. I think you're a person that motivates yourself a lot. So what are the pillars in your life that give you strength? I mean, you wake up fairly early every morning.
Yes.
And you do. And so I think, I mean, at least for me, to get up in the morning, you need to have something that drives you. You need to have a goal, or you need to have a vision. Otherwise, there's no reason for you to get up. What motivates you to get up early in the morning? What gives you strength to do that? Yeah.
Well, I'm actually very ambitious. The fact that I grew up in Austria and always had to do 3-4 times more than my peers to get to the same place made me to understand. Excuse me?
No, please continue. I just said, yeah.
Yeah. The fact that I grew up in Austria as a black kid in school and everything made me understand at a very early age that I have to do at least double, 3 times more than my peers to get to the same place. So I understood that I have to outwork my potential, as I like to say, and I understood that everything is possible as long as I actually really want it, and as long as just like drawing breath, you have to see that something you need to do to survive and you need to do to remain in existence. And I just know that waking up earlier, I can do a lot of more things during the day than waking up late. So I tend to wake up very early, at least 6 o'clock, not later than 6 o'clock, and get prepared. And there was a time I woke up like 4 or 5 o'clock due to the fact that I was traveling a lot before the pandemic, traveling a lot to Germany, Switzerland, visiting industries, and that was my lifestyle actually, and has been. And it's very important to wake up early, in my opinion, because when you wake up early, you have more opportunity to use the day. Waking up later makes you have less opportunity to, in full potential, use the entire time the day provides you with. So
I have the feeling whenever I get up in the morning, and I must say I used to work in bars and restaurants till late at night, so I really hate getting up in the morning because I'm so used to working deep into the night. But I have the feeling personally that if you wake up in the morning, that you own the day, that you own it. Yes. And if you sleep too long, it's kind of the day dictates the tempo to you.
Yes, absolutely. And you have to, I always say, like, outwork your potential, as you rightly said, own the day. And the earlier, like, if you check, every successful business person will tell you they wake up very early in the day, very early. All successful business people have one thing in common. They really make maximum use of the day. So sometimes I used to gym and train before I go to work, for example. And then I'll wake up 5 o'clock and train for 1.5 hours. And you feel great when you go to work, knowing that you already have done your training program. And you can come home and know that good after coming home, you have already done the things you're supposed to do because you woke up so early. So
yeah, it's a great feeling. It's a great feeling. When I was in my early 20s, 19, 20, I used to get up early in the morning and go running because I used to train some boxing, and I used to do the road work, we would call it. So you get up at 4:30, 5 o'clock and you do your half an hour road work. You run. But I tell you, it's very, very, very hard if you do it in Austrian winter, because in Austrian winter sometimes the sun only goes up at after 8 o'clock, so you're already up for several hours before the sun goes up. That makes it extra hard, I think.
I think it's all in your mind. I think it's a mentality issue.
Yes, 100% agree, 100%.
Because if you look, like some people need music to train, to gym, to run, to exercise. So what happens when there's no battery anymore? For example, what happens when there is no music? Are you dependent on music, for example? So the issue is, it's all about how we set our mind. What am I? Am I someone that is training? Like, for example, you know me, and I have been training a lot in the past, since last year. And I remember I challenged myself 90 days, 90 minutes cardio training. That was from 1st of January 2021. That was my New Year's resolution. And
so your resolution was doing 90 minutes of cardio every day?
For 90 days.
For 90 days. 90 minutes for 90 days.
Yes.
How's that working out for you? How did that work out for you?
The first week was hell. But I looked myself in the mirror and I was like, I want to lose weight. I want to get in shape. I want to be fitter. I want to be healthier. And I told myself, if I don't do this, what can I actually do in life? Like, what can I do? This is 90 minutes in a day.
So what happened how much did you lose weight? How much weight did you lose?
I lost about 15 kilograms.
15 kilograms, wow.
It was intense. So 90 minutes, like, I would do it. I did not miss one single day. The first week was very hard. The second week was hard, but then it became a habit.
So, sorry, man, 15 kilograms for all the English or Americans listening is 33 pounds. So that's 10 pounds a month you lost.
Yeah.
5 kilos a month.
At the beginning, you lose weight faster. It's later on.
Yeah, of course. Then you eventually you max out, and then it gets really hard to lose those last pounds or kilograms.
Yes.
You really have to watch your nutrition and your sleep recovery and all the details.
Absolutely. So that's what I'm going through now, because I am training now as well, and it's more difficult than before. But as I was saying, I make sure I do everything, because I didn't want this chain to cut. I wanted to be proud of myself. And I remember there was a day, I think it was day 17, some colleagues invited me to somewhere, and we had something to drink, and we were all a bit tipsy, and I was really tired, and I came home and I looked at my training station. I was like, oh my goodness, like how am I gonna do this? Like, I was really tipsy, So, but I had a paper. I had a paper on which I would mark each day off. So I looked at the piece of paper and I was like, if I don't do this today, even as I'm tipsy, all these days were wasted. Because I promised myself, I must make sure I keep on and do not allow the 90 days to be broken one day. So even though I was tipsy, I got on the station and I was riding my bike, and I completed the 90 days, 90 minutes, and it was incredible. But after succeeding, I was sad because I limited myself to 90 days. What did I do? I stopped training, I relaxed for 2 weeks. I was eating carelessly, and I was actually very sad. And that's also in your mind. Like I was saying, like, do you tell yourself there's no song? Do you tell yourself there's no music? Like, it's all in our mind, the way we program our mind. And I made a mistake to program my mind for 90 days only.
Well, it feels like 90 minutes, 90 days. It's not extreme like people running, like David Goggins running for hours a day. It's I mean, I think personally it's a lot, 90 minutes of cardio every day, but it doesn't seem something that is sustainable over long term.
It's all in our mind. That's where I'm going to. The issue, I learned a lot from David Goggins. Actually, it was a great motivation for me to do that. But the issue is, it's about habits. Like, I was the person training for 90 days, 90 minutes. But I have to change my mentality that I am someone that trains every day. That's my mentality now. I was then someone that is training for 90 days and 90 minutes to lose weight.
Let me explain. You just mentioned David Goggins. So
yes, let me finish my thought first.
Yeah, sure, please do.
The difference I'm trying to put here, like, there are two me's, two people. One last year was saying, I'm gonna train for 90 days, 90 minutes. That means I am someone training with a goal to reduce weight, and after that 90 days, I am my old me. It's not a sustainable way of really getting what you want. I am looking for a result through a system. But now, I have been training, like, even in 2021, I again trained 70 days for 700 calories. So my machine will tell me when I've reached 700 calories, then I will stop. I did that for 70 days. That was also a challenge. But the issue is, it's not about starting challenges. It's about telling myself, I am someone that trains. I train every day. I am someone that trains. It's like saying I am writing a book or saying I am an author. You see the difference? I am writing a book means I'm writing one book. I've never done it before. I just want to write something and put out there and go back and relax. But if you tell yourself I'm an author, you know that naturally writing books comes with you.
So you mean it's all about how you define yourself as what idea you put in your head and what idea you pursue, because your own way of thinking is your only limitation.
Correct, absolutely. So I said this system, my life, I adopted my life and said I'm not looking for results, I'm looking for a lifestyle. So my lifestyle is now I train every day. So I've been training throughout the entire year, this year, every day, even today. And what I do now is actually I train 3 hours a day. I doubled my 90 minutes. Like this year, my goal is to train twice 90 minutes a day. That's what I do now. So
that's a lot. That's a lot. 3 hours a day.
Yes, it is. It is.
The question is, let's take for instance really successful people. Let's take for instance Elon Musk. I think I heard him say on a podcast the other day that he only sleeps 5 hours a day, and that he's really up in his business. And I'm sure if your ambassador C.T.O. business thing grows, you won't be able to train 3 hours a day, especially if you start traveling, if you attend conferences, if you have so much work on your hands, it'll get really hard to train 3 hours a day. But understandably so. It's fine if you don't. But how will you cope with that in your mind without feeling that you're letting yourself down?
What I do in case I have situations like this, I write it down on my paper in the form of debt. I owe myself, for example, 3 hours. I owe myself 6 hours. It's a debt I have to pay. So it has happened to me that I forgot. I didn't have time to do 1.5 hours, like a 90-minute set. So what I did on a Sunday, I did 3 sets. So I did actually the usual 2 sets and another 1 set of 90 minutes, which I owed myself. It's a debt I document. So at the end of the day, it's all debt I have to myself, because I know I'm doing all this to improve in future, to improve my body, my health, my discipline, my mind. And I owe this to me, to the future me. So I write down all this debt I have to myself. So I owe myself some sets and I have to complete them. So the issue is, of course, if I have to travel to business meetings or anywhere, I'm accumulating debt I have to pay later. So instead of sitting on a Sunday, eating chips and just watching whatever TV, what I do, anytime I'm watching TV, I do not watch TV or football match or anything without being on the station. All my entertainment is on the station.
So on the station, you mean you're on the stationary bike?
Yes, on the stationary bike at home. So I reward myself. If I want to watch a movie, if I want to watch a new movie, I will reward myself so I connect, my synapses connect reward with the training. So I need my brain to function easier, to see it as a form of reward, because I will not watch a movie or watch anything without being on the station. So as I am on the station, I am training and I'm watching your podcast or your videos, for example.
Yeah, I can see that David Goggins' mindset shining through there a little bit. Because you mentioned David Goggins, who else has influenced you spiritually, motivationally?
Who else has influenced me? Who else has influenced me? Well, there are many people I'm sure that have influenced me. David Goggins is one.
Do you have any person that we all know that you say, yeah, this guy or this woman, I look up to him. I like the way he does business. I like the way he or she thinks. I like the way his mindset is. Two people.
Kobe Bryant and Elon Musk.
Okay, cool. Wow. That's a very interesting combination. Kobe Bryant and Elon Musk.
Sure.
That could be the title of a book. Kobe Bryant and Elon Musk. So let's start with Kobe. May he rest in peace. Black Mamba. Very so sad way of dying together with his daughter. Really, really, really sad. I know that Kobe has influenced a lot of people. And you and me, we're 37 years old, and so he was just a couple of years older than us. And I remember when I was 13, he was 18, and he made his NBA debut because he skipped college, I think, because he played in Italy as a teenager in the Italian league, and then he got drafted into the NBA when he was 18. And I remember playing basketball myself in the park and looking up to Kobe because he was like the new Michael Jordan. So tell us what motivated you about Kobe Bryant, or why does he inspire you?
Why does it inspire me? Well, Kobe Bryant had great work ethics. You know, that I would say. You can imagine what like often he would work like hours and hours. Like he'll wake up 4 o'clock, go and train 2 hours. Sometimes he'll wake up and train twice before he trains with the other basketball team.
Is that true? Did he get up earlier to train?
Definitely. That was he was training so much. Like I remember, he said it himself on a podcast. Like when he was like 12 or 14, he was one of the he played basketball and he didn't make 1 point. He didn't make 1 point. So he was really weak. So what he did, he worked on his throws and routine and basics for 1 year throughout every day. Every day he was throwing 300 balls a day. Every day. So by the time he came again to play, at the age of he was really beating everyone. So I think at the age of 15 he became the best player of his age in the entire city.
Man, he was in the NBA actually at 18. He moved to I'm just reading online. He moved to Italy when he was 6 because his father was a basketball player and he got a professional gig in Italy. And so Kobe's father moved the whole family to Italy in a town called Rieti. I think it's in the northern part of Italy. And so, Kobe went to school in Italy for most of his years. And if you would hear him speak Italian, man, his Italian was flawless. He was fluent in Italian because basically that's the place where he grew up and where he started to play basketball. It says here, Kobe also forged his famously relentless work ethic in Italy. Not only did he hit the gym at 6 a.m., when the rest of this junior team turned up at 9 a.m., he often played through the pain barrier. So that's crazy, man. Just getting rooted from black African guy, getting rooted from Houston to Italy and playing basketball in Italy and becoming so good, coming back and getting straight drafted into the NBA. And one thing that always struck me with Kobe, I don't know if it was his upbringing by his parents or him early getting in touch with a totally different culture, because that also opens your mindset and makes you kind of a more anti-ignorant person if you get confronted with such a different culture. But I don't know why, I never had a conversation with Kobe, but he always struck me as a gentleman.
I wouldn't say that. He was a monster. He was ruthless. You have to be a monster to achieve excellence.
Yeah, I know what you mean, but he always seemed polite. He always seemed, of course, on the court he was a monster, and he would trash talk you to death, and he wouldn't give in. But it's something that besides the court, for me, made him very well. Felt like he was very well brought up by his parents, I have the feeling.
There's something I recognized about him is enormous, like really, he this outwork potential, like he would land with his team somewhere and he would straight go to a basketball court, not to the hotel, but to a basketball court. He would train throughout, sometimes he would train throughout the night, and when the players arrive the match site, he's already there 2-3 hours prior, already throwing and exercising. So there's one of his teammates, because he always made sure he's the last. And then there was one of his teammates that was playing with him, and they were exercising, and they were exercising for hours, and the teammate was like, he's tired, he's going. But he acted as if he was going. He dressed up, but he was hiding somewhere in the corner to see when Kobe will stop exercising. So what Kobe did is Kobe continued exercising for hours and hours and hours on. And he got tired, hiding, watching, observing Kobe if he would stop. And then the next day, he was like, Kobe, you're really crazy. Like, I pretended to leave, but you were still training. And Kobe told him, I knew you were still there, but I just wanted to prove to you that I will always outwork you. That is crazy,
Man, Kobe had an amazing career, man. Kobe won 5 NBA championships and was an 18-time All-Star. So he was more often an All-Star than Michael Jordan. And it says here, he was also the first player in NBA history to score at least 30,000 career points and make 6,000 career assists. And he won 2 Olympic gold medals with the U.S. basketball team. Speaking of the tragedy, it was on January 26, 2020, so exactly 2 years ago. His father was called Joe, and there's an interesting little story. It says, it's from the New York Post, by the way, I'm reading. It says, when he was playing in Italy in the 1980s, Joe once told a teammate about a prophecy his grandmother had made. She said that someone would come along who would change the entire structure and direction of the family, who would accomplish great things and allow the family's members to live new lives. I know it's not me, said Brian, before pointing to his son Kobe, but it might be him. So yeah, that's a beautiful That's a beautiful little story there. So, why Elon Musk?
Yeah, Elon Musk is actually very similar to Kobe. He also had this outwork your potential mentality and philosophy. What Elon Musk would do when he started with his first internet company, he was working 100 hours a week.
He's from South Africa, right? Pretoria, I think.
Yeah, yes. So him and his brother were sharing a flat, and they had one computer, and so when one was sleeping, the other would be working. Then when the other was sleeping, the other would be working. So they were programming and working on their business, on their first business, and they were sharing one bed, and they were working 14, 15 hours a day. That's, I think, to get 100 hours a week. So they had an enormous work ethic. But what you learn, you notice that, okay, if people work 40 hours a week and you work 80 hours a week, then we need twice as much time to accomplish what you accomplish. So if someone works 80 hours, he's going to accomplish in 6 months what the other who works 40 hours will accomplish in a year. So he has an advantage of 6 months already.
Yeah,
so It's enormous. So when you're working 100 hours, you have an advantage. You finish what you normally finish in a year in 4 months. So it's a huge advantage. So these are things I learned from him, and I used it in my own career, and it worked, because I remember one of my corporate positions I had. I did this for a year. I was working for 60, 70, 80 hours sometimes, but not consistently, but at least 60. And I was doing far more than all my competition. And I really, really, really was far more successful than my competition due to that.
Because you invested more of your time, and you could get more shit done, basically.
Yeah, definitely. And on Saturdays, I'll be working like 8 hours, like nobody asked me, but I was just having a huge advantage.
But at the same time, you were working for a company, right? You weren't working for yourself.
Correct. I just wanted to see if this is really working. And it does. So you can imagine, like, when you do so much, you much output, much input. So these are the two people that gave me enough encouragement. Kobe Bryant, actually 3 people. David Goggins, Kobe Bryant, and Elon Musk. These are great individuals. I myself, by myself.
Spirituality, man. What's spirituality for you? Spiritual. My Dare to Do motivation thing is a lot about spiritual. I read a lot of stories from all sorts of cultures and different religions, and I feel that a lot of them, no matter what culture they come from, a lot of them have a lot of similarities. Meaning, like in biblical stories where a son leaves and has to find out who he is and then comes back again. It's like we all go out into life, and we have our difficulties when we grow up. We have our challenges which we must overcome. You okay, man?
Sorry, it's a dog. Sorry, as you said at the beginning, you might hear noises in the back.
Since when do you have a dog, man?
It's not my dog. It's outside, actually.
Oh wow, it's a loud dog. it's a loud dog. So, what's spirituality for you? I mean, how would you define spiritual, or where do you get spiritual strength from?
I do believe in God, and I believe that God put me on this earth for a purpose. I believe that if I don't give my best, I am actually misusing, offending the opportunities God gave me with life and health.
So you feel accountable to God?
Of course, we owe Him. I'm healthy. I'm alive. I'm healthy. The rest is for me to achieve. Many people believe that they have to pray to build a career. God gives them a career or success or money or things. I believe God gives us life, God gives us health, and these are the two most precious gifts God gives us when we come to this world. So everything else is for me to achieve, and being grateful and trying to produce, to increase and be more successful every day, and be more productive and be more progressive, and knowing that I'm going to put people on this planet, and knowing that I have to as well set a good example and make sure that there is something that has been done, and not just wasting time and life on this planet. So I think I owe it to God, because it's a gift, and you must really respect this gift.
I read once that people don't respect or acknowledge the things that they get for free, and they only value the things they pay money for, or the things which they think has a material worth. And so, because we were given by birth, we were given this life and this health and this body and this mind for free, and our soul and everything for free, we don't really respect it the way we should, because it was given to us for free, and we forget. And I think that being grateful for every small thing is so important. It's so important to achieve a better life for yourself. Always, even if you've got a bad day, I feel like feeling grateful for the small things, that you wake up without pain, that you can smile, that you've got friends, that you've got family. I think all these small things in life, like even enjoying a small coffee, you should be grateful for everything, for having all these experiences in life.
Definitely. Some people cannot drink water. They have issues, medical issues, health issues. They cannot drink. They have to get it through a tube or something like that. Some people are lying sick. Some people are born sick. So when you have some people didn't even make it to this world, they died while trying to come to.
Yeah, so the connection just got disconnected. Don't worry. Look at this here.
Dient in der Sprachbox von.
Okay. Yeah. So I think just lost the connection. With Ambassador C.T.O. I'll put his Instagram in the description of this video. Nigerian entrepreneur starting his business with bringing together German-speaking countries, and he's calling again. Hang on. Yeah, can you hear me?
What happened?
I think we lost connection. Something happened.
Okay.
We were talking about being grateful. Some people can't drink water. They get it through a tube, or some people don't even make it alive into this world from the womb. And just being... Sometimes I say to myself, imagine if you're 90 years old and someone... If I'm having a bad day, I imagine that I'm 90 years old and someone gives me the chance to remote control myself back into today, into this day when I'm having a bad day. And I would wake up, and although I've got a bad day or I've got issues and problems, I'd be so grateful and happy that I can experience this again. All these possibilities we have with experiencing, the pain and the joys in life. That makes life so special. Even in the Greek mythology, the gods were always jealous of the humans because the gods couldn't die, the humans could die, so everything meant something to them. Everything had a risk to them, and so the reward was much sweeter. Whereas life and death didn't mean anything to the gods.
Yes, I understand what you mean. As I said, like, all these things, all the negative, I have a very stoic approach on that. We need all this negative trauma and everything. There is no great person on this planet. Trauma makes people great. It triggers people to excellence. Kobe Bryant, if he hadn't gotten that trauma, because he said he was crying when he didn't make 1 point at that age, and he felt humiliated. He had trauma. It fueled his tank to invest an entire year of training every day. So there is no great person on this planet without trauma. Trauma is what makes people great, and we shouldn't try to avoid it. We should try to be comfortable in uncomfortable situations and be grateful for even experiencing the uncomfortable.
I like that. I think we're gonna wrap it up for today.
Great.
It's been an hour. Great having you on. And yeah. People, ambassador.c.t.o on Instagram. I'm sure I'll have him back on this show maybe in a month or so. Tell us in the comments what you thought about this episode, what you would like us to improve, how was the audio quality for you, and thanks everyone, and have a good evening. Bye.
Bye.